Hi Scrubs, I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfam.
And we are in 2020. It is our first episode of the year. I was like, no, it's not, when I was thinking, but then I realized, yes, it is. Actually, it's the end of January. Or, well, it's actually February as we are recording this. But we had great fun wrapping up last year, 2019, and we got a comment that was like, okay, this could actually be a quite interesting episode. But that is, we are going into that, or we're actually going into that right now, which is basically, what do we actually want? And I'm going to explain more later on, but first we have two guests again. So we're doing this again. We went from having two guests to feeling like we need a break from guests, and now we're back again with two guests. And it's none other than Violet Flowergarden and Anja Firepaw. Welcome!
Welcome!
Hi.
So glad you could both be here. It's gonna be so interesting to be discussing this topic with you, which is I'm gonna explain later on. But first, we want to know who you are for the people who don't know. So let's start with Violet.
Okay. Hi, I'm Violet. Thank you for having me. I've been playing Star Stable for a little over 7 years on the Nightstar server, and I have a YouTube and an Instagram account, and I've been making Star Stable videos since 2013, but they were terrible videos and mostly private now, and I like making videos about new updates, training videos, and sometimes realistic videos only if I feel like it.
Interesting. Okay. And Anja?
I've been playing Star Stable for, I think, 4 years now. My YouTube is Anja Firepaw and my Instagram too, so yeah, that's where you can find me. And I have been uploading videos for 3 years, so I started in May 2017. And I kind of just post random videos on my channel. I don't know, I just post what I feel like at the moment.
Okay. Well, why didn't I ask this before? Where are you from and what are your ages?
I'm from the United States and I'm 20.
20, okay. And Anja?
I'm from Austria and I'm 15.
Okay. Very. It's always fun to know where everyone is come from, because I think sometimes we can forget how big Star Stable actually is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, welcome you guys. So happy that you're here. And
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. It's gonna be so much fun. And yeah, 2020 people, and January has passed like really quickly. Weather has been weird, especially here in Sweden, because we have spring right now.
Yeah, which is so weird.
We never got winter, or we could get winter. I'm hoping not.
Who knows?
We will never know. We will never know until it's here, basically. But yeah, what has everyone been up to in January? TC, what has it been for you? Do you have snow?
We had a tiny little bit of snow. But it snowed. I think I looked outside and it was snowing at like 5 a.m. and then by the time I got up, it had melted. So I didn't like stay sitting or anything like that.
You basically did not have snow.
Yeah, it was there and it went away. I have found this month just exhausting. To be quite honest, I'm quite happy that January will be over real soon. So we left the EU yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did
yesterday.
Wow, yeah.
I'm not for it.
No,
I don't want to leave.
We know. Yeah. It was sad.
I don't want to queue in the airport. Thank you very much.
No.
I have to if I go anywhere.
Well, won't it take like a year before that will sort of start? Because now you did this sort of divorce. Now you have to do the sort of agreement of
here's the thing. You know, you've got the UK Prime Minister saying one thing, and then you have the EU saying a completely different thing. Nothing's matching up. And I've just zoned out at this point. I'm like, I'm over this. I was over this quite
when
some
it happened.
Time ago. Yeah, I'm like, I'm just done with the whole thing.
You're over the divorce.
Yeah. I didn't want it in the beginning, and I don't like the outcome of it. So
Oh.
I just want it to be over and done with now and sorted, but I think it's just going to be, I just feel like it's going to turn into a horrible mess, but
Yeah. Oh, well.
January's been tiring.
But that is sort of the country's issues. What have been your issues of January?
Just too much to do and not enough time to do it has been my issue, and I've been having to relearn things that I haven't done in like 5 years, and that's been tricky.
Yeah.
My brain feels like it's melting. But in terms of playing Star Stable, I have done very little. Mostly, it's a lot of it's to do with the FTC COPPA stuff, because I'm posting content on it, and I've just kind of left it at the moment. I am in two minds at the moment, because nothing's really happened since everything, and I'm sitting there going, so I'm sitting there going, will I, won't I? Do I want to take the risk? Will I just make some new videos, but then see, and then not on private my old ones? Or I don't know. At the moment, it's really. I just feel this is a horrible, horrible month. I hate 2020 already.
No.
So that's where I am.
Okay, I'm the complete opposite. I love 2020 because I got a job. Yay!
Awesome.
Congratulations. Thank you. So it went really, really, really quickly. So after I was told, I wrapped up my trainee job, and 2 weeks ago I started as a content marketing manager at this little startup, and so it's been very, very intense, getting to know everything and everyone, and starting job, and I've just been kind of exhausted. But I have also made my first SSO video for 2020. Yay! Because I decided I have a plan. And my plan, I don't know if this is what Quicksilver and Alex is doing, because I basically saw them posting a video, and I was like, wait, what are they daring? And I was like, should I ask? And then I was like, you know what I could do? I can post this video, make it not child appealing, and just see what the YouTube sort of algorithm would say. And so far it's been up since Thursday, and so far it hasn't changed anything.
Okay.
So I'm sort of hoping. I will give it until Wednesday before I go, like, maybe it won't touch me. And we'll see. So that is my plan right now. But the rest of myself is still privatized, because, it's a lot of job work. So yeah, it's been January. Yay, so far. well, there has been some sad stuff as well, but those are very private. I will keep to myself, but mostly it's been yay. Okay, so Cici, what have you been up to? Has the baby come?
No, it hasn't. So yeah, my big sister is pregnant, and she's actually currently at the hospital giving birth. She has been since 3 a.m. last night.
Like, poor woman, she's still there.
I feel sorry for her.
Yeah, me too. But it's like, you can't do anything to help, but just pray, be like sending good vibes to the universe, you know.
Get it out.
Yes. So yeah, he's actually 1 week overdue. So it's like, come on now, you gotta like, get out.
Yeah.
So,
what do you say when the rent is like, when you have to get out of the apartment?
Yeah, the eviction notice.
Yeah, it's eviction time. Get out.
Yeah. They actually, there's a medical term for it. In Swedish it is utdrivning, which can be translated to exorcism, which is kind of like, it sounds so grim. It's really hilarious. I love it. Yeah, it's so good.
Ooh, call the exorcist.
Yeah, call it. No, it's crazy.
Wow,
So,
okay, so we are getting a demon baby! Woohoo!
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, January has been crazy because it's like, okay, when's the baby? When's the baby? Like, I want to be an aunt. I'm gonna be an aunticorn. Woohoo!
Yay!
Like, so yeah,
nothing else but this baby has been going on.
Well, apart from that, I'm kind of like stressing because my work contract will end in March, so I'm kind of like job hunting, which is so boring. It's so tiresome and stressful. Like, you get so many rejections because finding a job in Stockholm is very, very hard.
Yeah.
And
You will get there. Just keep.
Yeah, I will.
Everywhere.
Yeah, just apply to everything and just keep your fingers crossed. I'm like,
Yeah. Like, I know. It gets tiring.
Yeah, but I've actually been good at Starship. I've actually been training my horses.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what went over me. I just trained like crazy. Oh yeah, I got a cold. That's why. So I was like home. I was home and bored and I had nothing to do. So I just let's train.
Trying to get easy to train our horses.
It's get so sick you can't do anything else.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. So I actually have only one horse to level now. So yay!
Wow, you're better than me. What's going on?
I have like 5.
I haven't even counted because I would feel bad.
No.
Okay. Anja, what have you been up to in January?
I have been learning for my exams.
Oh?
I don't miss
the whole month.
No.
Actually. Yeah, I don't know. We have like 5 exams every week. And
wow.
It's been pretty exhausting, but we have like a break in I think 2 weeks, and yeah, I hope it's gonna get better.
Yeah. Oh. Keep fighting. It's worth it.
You can do it.
That's all our grown-ups are telling you. It's just it gets better.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it does. It gets worse when you're a grown-up. So yeah, have fun.
Oh, come on.
No, it gets better. And it gets worse in multiple ways. It's fascinating. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay. Okay, and Violet, what have you been up to?
There have been a lot of snowstorms here, mostly at the beginning of January, and then I went back to college, and I've been riding a lot and spending a lot of time at the barn, and I own a horse in real life named Lola.
Oh, lovely!
But in game, I've been trying to get more horses trained. I've been doing a pretty good job with that, and then I've been trying to go to the club team practices that we have.
Team practices? Are you in a dressage club?
Yeah. Well, it's in everything kind of club. We just have a dressage team and there's a team chasing team. So I go to all of that.
Cool. Team chasing?
It's like based in the UK, I think. Like it originated there, but there's 4 people on a team, and then you race basically as a team, and then the third person's time is the time that counts for the entire team.
Ooh.
Oh.
So we have groups of different members in the club.
Cool. That's interesting. Wow. Did you know about this, TC?
I actually hadn't heard of it. That's why I was wondering. But then it might have a different name, because I noticed that whenever we did the dressage quadrille, there was a lot of debate around the name.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I hadn't actually heard of that. But then again, I kind of stopped racing about a year or more ago.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably why.
I am missing the club life a little bit, I have to say. And my very dear friend Frida, she joined a club yesterday, and she said that if she likes it so much, she's gonna try and get me into it.
Aww.
I'm just wondering if I will have time. So I'm hoping for it, but we'll see. I'm just gonna get more into this job, and I'm gonna see what happens with life. Because I do know it's like getting children when you start a club.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm just like, me being a dramatic as usual. Okay, are we ready for? I was sort of late to this recording because I decided I need to write down a monologue to explain. It's sort of why we're doing this. So the episode is called "What Do We Actually Want?" And it sort of all started with us discussing critique. By all, I mean me, Cici, and Cici. Critique SSO has been receiving lately about their content. Although in January it's typically low on content because of the holidays and they're getting back into business. But it has been a discussion. And we received a comment in our previous episode from Madison Dolphinfield, and it was a very lovely comment. Thank you so much. Where she agreed with us in our previous episode that we who are 18 plus level we basically are happy whenever we get gameplay because we have nothing else to do. So we sort of managed to create a little topic today where we feel, or we hopefully won't be stepping on anyone's toes. We are all happy to share our thoughts and ideas as well as give constructive criticism to Star Stable, because we are going to talk about content and what might not be as I said, what do we actually want? Because they are giving us content, but we seem to not be happy about it. So what can be better and stuff like that. And TC, you can explain the poll stuff, I feel.
Yeah, so what we decided to do was I had set up basically a post, and I said on YouTube and both Instagram, and I said, right, what do people feel about the game overall? And I think we had about 54 comments in total, roughly. I know that some people, since we had already done the polls, did comment, but unfortunately we'd already done the polls by that point, so I did read the comments, but unfortunately some of that stuff might not have been included. But yeah, based off those, I went through every single individual comment, and what I did was every time somebody brought up something new, I'd write it down. But every time somebody was just repeating what somebody else had said, I would tally it. So 2 people think this, and I went along, and I ended up with a really big, massive list. And, there was some things that only one person brought up. Now, there was a lot of different things. There was all very, very interesting different points. So I tried to take some of the most popular ones and kind of go forward with that, and then make posts on my stories with polls in them. So basically, I think we ended up with 12 different polls. The first one was actually what level players were, and there was a reason that I did this, and I just want to briefly explain that, because I feel like right now, depending on what level people are in the game is going to have a big impact on how they choose to vote in the later part of the polls, which is why I did it. So there was a lot of very interesting stuff, and if anybody wants me to send that stuff to them and they want to see and they're curious, then they can just let me know.
Yes. And we also want to say there were 12 polls, but there were also 608 who voted, or they over
on average per poll,
per poll. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There, to be fair, it's only 608. There are so many more players actually playing the game, so not everyone has been answering, but it can give a sort of roughly idea.
It's a pretty good sample size.
So
we had about, I think it was 7,296 total votes across all 12 polls. So the average was about 608 votes per poll.
Okay. Just to give you all the numbers of clarification on that. So yeah, we are going to basically discuss a lot of the stuff, and we're starting with 81.8% of players polled are level 18 plus, as you mentioned. What impact do you think this has on the game? Let's start with CC.
I think that it creates a big frustration, because if you are high level and you have been for a while, then you basically have nothing to do, because you're done with everything. You know, with all the quests, the main story quests, the reputation building, and all the star searching and stuff like that. And if you're like a bunch of people that are frustrated, then the environment kind of gets frustrated, and then it's easier to be negative. So that can be a problem. And also, if there is like a big portion that is frustrated, then that can maybe affect like the newer players or the players in the lower levels, because they see and hear all the stuff the frustrated players are saying and how they're feeling, and then they might get affected by that and be like, oh, maybe I don't want to spend that time and money on this game if I'm gonna be like that in a while. So yeah, it's a bit rough.
Okay. What do you think, Violet?
From the information in the poll, I mean, I can see that there should be more new content in the game focused on the higher level players. And recently I went on an alt account. There was a 7-day, you know, free Star Rider code thing. So I got on an alt account and started playing the new quests, like replaying, well, old quests, like replaying them on an alt account. And there were so many quests per day to do. There was probably a huge list of probably 10 quests at least. And it was so crazy. But then when you get to a certain point, there's you run out of content.
Yeah.
That is true. For us going back, I can sort of understand that the contrast is so big, but I can't help stopping comparing Star Stable to like other online games, because Star Stable still sort of has this, that there is a limited amount of quests you can do a day, sort of, still, while on other online games like Red Dead Redemption Online, or we have World of Warcraft, there are no limitation when it comes to days of how much you can do in a day. There you can just go on and on and on and on. But the big contrast here is that, well, in Red Dead Online you can still get to a phrase where you go, well, I've done everything now. So basically what I'm saying, Star Stable isn't really alone. At the same time, it is alone with having limited, and it's so weird. I have no idea where I'm going with this. But also, I think Star Stable might be in a sticky dilemma. As you said, they have tons of old players that need new content. I agree with that. They all need new content. At the same time, they still need to keep bringing in all the new players, the new paying players. So they need to also, in a way, I understand why they want to focus on revamping the game and making it more quality. Because if I would go back and start playing Star Stable from the beginning, it's totally different from when I started in 2014. So it's a sticky dilemma, but I feel like in 2019 they did focus a lot on revamping the game, and they are probably not done. But I would like to see them maybe focus a little tiny bit more on us other players as well. Maybe
yes,
please. This year. What do you think, Anja?
I feel like that too, because when I log on into Star Stable, I don't know what to do, because I don't have a club, and I have maybe one friend that I talk to, and usually I just start doing the races at Steve's farm, and then after a while I just don't enjoy it anymore, because you keep doing the same races every day, and it does get boring really quickly.
I have to agree. And TC?
For me, I think a lot of the issues that are being flagged in the community, whether that's in videos or comments or maybe within the game itself, is coming back to, I think, to the fact that a lot of players, especially whenever you look at the poll, I mean, I know it's only a small portion of the players that do play, it does give you the impression that a lot of people are at that level now, where they're sitting there going, we don't have anything to do, or the things that we do have to do, we're not really maybe necessarily that interested in, because not all of those players that are up at that level 18 necessarily the same kind of players. Because, for example, I do quite like collecting things and looking for things, but I still haven't done the ones that where you go and take the pictures. With GMs. For example, I haven't done that, and there are certain things that I think like could appeal to certain players, and but I don't think everything is necessarily going to appeal to everyone. So I think at the minute we've got this problem where if you know, we could all be like, we want more endgame content, but the problem is, I guess, for them, the dilemma is they do always need new players coming in, because for a game to keep its longevity, it needs new players coming in, but it also needs to maintain its veterans to a degree. And there is a certain amount of veterans that are just going to go away naturally, because they're going to lose interest in the game. But there are going to be ones there that are going to sort of stay. So I think for them right now, it's trying to find that balance, and I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's probably going to be pretty difficult, but I think right now it hasn't any kind of balance. I don't think it's kind of lacking at the moment, I feel. So I think right now that's the kind of impact that it's having, is they're needing to go back and update a lot of this stuff to make it look like a more attractive game.
Yeah.
But the problem is you got a large bulk of players sitting here going, we're bored.
Yeah.
In some shape or form. Not necessarily all of them, because some of them are not.
Yeah.
But I think for some people that don't maybe necessarily have clubs, or don't want to train, don't enjoy training horses, or don't want to do the collecting things like the spiders or maybe the archaeology, their interest is going to diminish. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Interesting.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. Aren't you educated in this?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. You're gonna have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Which is great. Go ahead, I want all the facts.
If I can remember all of it, because I read several books on this a long time ago.
Oh. So yeah, you're a lot educated than I am, at least. Okay, so moving on to one of the next poll is, what do you think of the frequency to which new horses are added? And so far as now, it is like every other month we get like a new breed or an updated breed, and then the month after that we get like more colors, and that is sort of the frequency of it. And then we have all the other stuff, horses that can sometimes come between. I guess I can start with that. I love horses, and I love all the horses they are released. Before I didn't mind the frequency. They sort of have of horses, but what makes it feel too much now, I think, is the magical horses, because they are not added into the same pattern as the rest. So they are they come like this time we got the Tinkers this month with new colors, and then 2 weeks later we got now Vega. And it won't be, I think, if they keep going with the frequency, it won't be that long before we get a new breed or an updated breed now in February. And it goes on like that. So it feels a bit, for me it feels much now because of all the magical horses that just pops up every other in the frequency that they already have. Some would say it is a bonus. For me, that are not much for magical horses, I just ignore them. But for the people that love them, they want all the magical horses, and they want all the new horses as well. So I can see why they are going like, this is too much. So in a way, now I would either like to see them put the magical horses in the frequency they had before, and just push it in a way, or they would have to go down to less, because I have started to agree like it's a bit too much now. And let me not just start with all the app horses that can sometimes be either non-existent or it suddenly is an app horse, because you forget about that app quite quickly. But what do you think, Anja?
I don't know, in my opinion, I don't really like the magical horses. I feel like, I don't know, I'm more the realistic person, but I see everybody, on Instagram when a magical horse gets released, everybody's buying it, so I guess it is Star Stable sees that it's good for the game, so I don't think they're gonna stop doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really care about the magical horses.
Okay. And what do you think, Cici?
Yeah, it kind of feels like there's a high frequency of horses at the moment, because it kind of feels like it's the ratio to other content is a bit low. So it kind of feels like if there is updates with a lot of horses, and the other content like is small quests here and there that, or like updated graphics or something that are not, they're still good and good for the game, but if there are like smaller other content in the update, and then there's the horses, then it's gonna feel like we only get horses. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
That it feels like it's a lot of horses. They're pretty. I'm not complaining. But yeah, I would like to see other stuff as well. Maybe like up the scale is kind of a bit heavy on the horses.
Yeah. Okay. I just jumping in here, and also yes, as you can see, the poll right now, a lot of the people that looked at that answered says that they are added to frequently, and a lot, over 50% are thinking that, and then we have the other ones that think it's still in the right pace. So there's still it is 50% sort of wants it, and then 32 sort of thinks it's right, and then we have the 11 that thinks there needs to be more horses, which is interesting. Every other week we want a new horse. But Violet, what do you think?
I personally don't see a problem with how often the new horses are being added. Like, I've been hearing it so many people say that there's too many horses being released, which that shows in the poll, but I like having new cute horses, and no one is forced to buy the new horses.
True.
Some players are getting FOMO, fear of missing out, when the new horses are released, and they can't buy them because they don't have star coins, but I don't think that means they should stop being released, because new cool horse models, they're fun to have, and from what they've said, the frequency of new horses doesn't affect like any other feature in the game, so I just see it as a bonus part of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you made a really good point there.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before. Like, people don't need to buy the new horse. And I feel like it really is that fear of missing out. People go, I have to get this now. And if I look at, like, I know that I've probably said this before, but, like, if you look at horse, like, with that game, if you didn't have the best of the best, okay, you're losing out. You are, in the sense that you don't maybe place as well in events and things like that. You don't do overall as well as the equivalent of what would be sort of championships in Star Stable. Whereas with Star Stable, it doesn't matter if I have a horse that's 3 years old or a week. It's been out a week. I can still compete in championships. I can still do races. I'm not really losing any overall ability to compete with other players, and I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people kind of need to realize that there are priorities as well. And as you said, you know, you're not losing out, because we're not losing out to Quest, because the horse team that does the horses is completely separate to the ones that work on missions and story quests and things like that. And for me, I do think that, like, horses are kind of added too frequently, but it kind of comes to what Anja said about the wilds. Like, I love the wilds, but I almost feel like there's too much when it comes to the wilds right now, which is kind of funny, because you know I love the wild horses. I'm obsessed. But I feel like they need to stay kind of quite special. So I don't want them to be frequent. Because I want them to maintain that sort of really magical property. And I think it would be interesting if they were more story-based. Like, if... I can't remember who mentioned this, so if it was one of you, this might have been a while ago, but somebody suggested, I can't remember where I saw this, so apologies to whoever this was, but with the fjords, whenever we had the Calators there, we did the missions of the Calators, and you had to get that before you could buy the fjords. I think that would be brilliant to have more things like that, especially for magical horses.
That would be fun.
Sort of rep building, and it would kind of build into the main stories and things like that. I think that would be wonderful. But I actually think one of the biggest issues with how many people feel like the horses are added too much is it does obviously come into that, you know, you can't buy, necessarily everybody can't afford to buy them so frequently. But I also think, for me, it's the training aspect. Because I feel like whenever the game was first brought out, and when training was first implemented in the game, you would only have a horse to train, or maybe a few, whenever they eventually did add the ability to buy new horses. Now, to which the frequency of which horses are added, the training's out of sync with that. And I feel like the training is too slow for the pace at which horses are added. And I think that's part of the frustration as well.
More XP.
So I think races need to be boosted up in some shape or form. Literally.
They were at one point.
So I think right now, I think if I remember correctly, it takes a couple of days.
Yeah, 5 days.
Horse if you do. Yeah, I think it's around 5 days to max horse if you do every single race.
Yeah.
But you don't really want to do races that give you 100 XP. For me, I don't, and I'll focus on the 250s. But then it'll take me like 2 weeks if I just do those to max horse. So for me, I really think the training and the races and the XP needs to be boosted to be in line with the number of horses that are added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. We are going to talk about it more later on. Another question. So next question is, do you think SSO should increase the max shilling limit, which is 82% said yes. Which I feel like, yeah, it's a big limit that says yay. There's a lot, tiny little part that says no, which is like for you that you don't feel it. But Anja, what do you feel about increasing the max limit?
I think it's, I mean, it's so requested, and I really agree because the new tag they released is so expensive if you want to buy it with Jorvik shillings. And you can only, if you really save up, you can only buy one item at the time.
Yeah.
And it will take ages to get to that point, so I definitely think that they should increase the max shilling.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because I get sort of tired that when you reach the 10,000 years limit, I always think like, oh yay, I can buy one thing next time that is released. That one next thing is a new jacket that costs 9,550 ES. So, and then if you want the rest of the outfit, you're gonna have to pay up. So I would like it to be maybe up to like, I don't want it to be unlimited because then but maybe like up to 30 or 50,000 ES, because then if they that is if they keep the pricing point on the stuff that are released, because then if you had around 50,000 ES, you could buy at least 3 to 5 items of a collection with only ES. And I think that would like bring up the value of Jorvik shillings a lot. And it would give the players like the option of keep it, of wanting to use the ES. And I think a lot, as we can see, a lot of people want to use the ES, and some stuff is like, why not? So yeah, I agree with you, Anja. They should raise it. What do you think, Violet?
Absolutely yes. I can't think of any good reason why the limit exists. I mean, I think it should be unlimited, just like star coins, and we don't have a star coin limit. Like, imagine if we had a star coin limit. That would be so weird.
You can't give us any more money.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Yeah. Okay. So, and TC, what do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Unlimited. Because I'll tell you why.
Okay, you want it unlimited?
Yes. The reason I want it unlimited is because right now there is no other game that I can think of. If somebody can give me an example in the comments, feel free. But I can't think of one other game out there that limits the in-game currency outside of the bot currency. Because typically the way most MMOs will work is whatever your shillings are is unlimited, because you can work on it and you can grind and you can do that. And right now, that grinding is essentially being limited. And that, for me, is an issue, because if you can't have the option to grind, because I have no motivation to sit and go through my dailies. I know that once I hit 10, that's it. So for me, I'm just going to log off. I'm not even going to bother. And I think with the price of a lot of the outfits that have recently come out, I know we'll kind of get into that more than that later, so I'm not focused on it too much, but for me, I want the option there that if I want to grind and get enough shillings to buy an entire outfit, that I should be able to do that. Yes, make it hard work, but give me the option to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing there. I think that's really missing, and for me, that's why I would want it to be unlimited. Because as long as it is unlimited and you make it hard work, there are going to be people that are going to grind through it, and there's going to be people who will still go, I'm just going to bet for star coins, which is fine, but give that option. And I think it should be there.
Okay. And Cici?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I kind of been wishing for that since I started playing, actually. And I started playing in 2012, so a bit while ago, so I've been wishing for it for years. Because back then, when a piece would cost like 3,000 Jorvik shillings, that was expensive, because you didn't have that many races or dailies back then, in the start of the game. So it kind of feels like that has been an annoyance in the game, like in the back of your head, like, you know, for quite a while, that there is a limit. And especially, like you mentioned before, if you come up to the limit 10,000 and then you can buy one item, it kind of feels a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And yeah, and I totally agree with you, TC, too, that I don't get any motivation for that as well. And especially because you need to grind if you need ES. It takes a couple of days to get up to 10,000. Maybe it's like 3 days, like maybe almost like as long as it takes to level up a horse. So yeah, it's a problem for sure.
Okay. So yes, it should be unlimited, or it should be raised, and then it's a discussion if it should be unlimited. Because in a way, I still understand why they need to make money. It is a company.
Yeah, but 10 is way low.
Yeah, it's very low.
Definitely.
Either raise it like by a lot, or change like the whole in-game currency, you know, economy. Like
Because the thing is, I know that if you keep it low, it makes people more inclined to use the star coins.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, it's whenever there's certain items that come out and they have no stats, and there's a certain price on them, I'll just go absolutely not. As much as I might like the item, no. And I think if you have, that's the thing. If you can make it hard work, right, that it's still grindy to do the Jorvik shillings, people are still going to spend star coins. It's just there are certain players out there who like to grind, and it makes them have something to do, and it would improve that aspect of the game. And I think that's an area that's lacking. Even if you raised it up to the likes of 50,000, that would be a big improvement.
Yeah.
I would personally just like it unlimited, but even if it was 50,000, it would be a massive improvement on what it is right now.
Okay. So, moving on to the next question. What do you think of the current endgame playability, and what do you think could be done to improve it? Where 75.2% said yes. And I'm gonna start with TC here, because I think she needs to sort of explain it as well. Go!
Okay, so for anybody that's not familiar with endgame, essentially there are different stages whenever players come to a game. So you'll have that phase of discovery where people are trying to, they're trying to figure out, do they want to play this? Do they want to try it out? And then you have this phase where users are learning how to play the game. And then there's the regular part of the game where, you could kind of look at that in the later parts of Star Stable. I would sort of say maybe around level 7, 15-ish, maybe, something like that, maybe just as a guess. But then you have what is called the end game, and this is essentially where you're trying to retain the veterans of your game. And as we polled earlier, a large proportion of those we polled are at that end game stage. You're veterans of the game, the ones that have been here, done a lot of the stuff, whether they've only been here a year, whether they've been here 10. So essentially, for me, when I look at Star Stable, there are lots of different types of players, as I mentioned, and different players with different motivations. Some of us like to train every day. Some of us never want to train ever. Some of us like to race. Some of us like to collect things. So with every single person out there, there are different kinds of players, and how all those different players go through those different phases of the game is going to be different. And I think right now there isn't that balance. And I think at the minute we've got this issue where there's not a lot to do in the end game for the majority of people.
No.
And especially when you break it down into the different types of players. For me, something that I think could really improve the end game of Star Stable would be some kind of evergreen mechanics, and essentially, like, if a really good example of evergreen mechanics is Minecraft. Because in Minecraft you can build just about anything, and you can go into another world and you get an entirely different experience. Something that I could compare it to would be like Alicia Online racing. You can go on Alicia and you can race, and the people that come into the room are going to be different every time, and what might happen could differ a lot. It's not necessarily that it's a perfect example of evergreen mechanics, but with Star Stable, there isn't really anything like that something different might happen. There's a very structured kind of to Star Stable, and it's kind of the same. Like, yes, you could go run championships. Most people don't want to hang around and wait for championships. And I used to run championships all the time. And then once I kind of won them, I was like, I don't really want to bother anymore. So for me, I would love to see some kind of racing system in Star Stable where, kind of like with Alicia, where you could go in, you'll earn XP every time you race, you can go against different players every time because there'll be other people coming into the races, and you would have the benefit of leveling up your horse, but also the fun of not knowing necessarily what's going to happen each time. And I feel like it would be really awesome, especially considering our character is supposed to have magical powers. Like some kind of magic races that we could run in, kind of similar to Alicia, because I feel like that's just really lacking right now. We don't really have that kind of fun. I mean, I know that like other people have suggested the ability to craft items, to be able to increase the stats on gear that doesn't have stats on. I think that would also be another brilliant way of improving the playability in the long run, because I'm sure there's plenty of us out there that have an outfit we love that doesn't have stats.
True.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things there that I just feel like could definitely be done for that end game playability. Not limited to just these things. There is dozens, if not more, and a lot of people suggested a lot of different things in the polls as well. So yeah, but I think it does need improved upon. Its current state is not where I think it needs to be.
Yeah, I sort of had to ask TC beforehand, like, what is even end game playability? And after TC explains it, I was like, is there even end game playability in SSO? And she sort of answered that. So that is basically my answer is like, what? You don't have it. Then I would like it. It would be nice. Whatever it is, I'm happy because I have nothing else to do. So that is basically my answer. What would you say, Violet?
I think one of the biggest problems, and this is level-wise, not really content-wise, is that newer players will never, ever, ever have the opportunity to get to the same level that the older players are at. It's completely impossible. And some people won't like this idea, but I think that player XP shouldn't be given out for limited time experiences like holidays, for example, and instead there could be more of other awards given, like more Jorvik Shillings or more horse XP instead of player XP, because giving out player XP is just widening the gap between old and new players even more. I don't know if there's any possible way to like remove the player XP given from limited time events to close the huge gap, because there's a huge gap. And maybe if the XP taken away, like if it was ever taken away, was replaced with some kind of Jorvik Shilling award or some nice thing to make up for the fact that the hard-earned like player XP from holiday quests or limited time quests that the older players spent their their time on those. So I mean, that's just an idea to even out the playing field. But no matter what the new players do, they will never get to the same level.
I think that is a problem, especially when you look at, I think it was it SSO Theory Time? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Brought up the championship thing, and I thought that was a very good point, because when you go in, if you run the exact same race and the exact same stats against the person in every aspect the same, but they're higher level than you, and neither of you mess up, you're probably going to lose if you're a level lower, unless they, as you say, sort of mess up, and it is kind of the luck of the draw. I mean, I have seen lower level people win whenever they do their shortcuts better than higher levels, but the thing that I'd like to sort of see is a way, especially with championships, is that players get rewards based on their actual placing because of their level. not because of where they placed.
Mm.
I think for a lot of people that do championships, it's kind of frustrating whenever you're going against a level 22 and you're level 18 or 19. Or
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
cannot beat them.
Yeah.
It's probably disheartening for some people as well. So I think it should probably be more based on level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, I think that's a good point. Actually, I don't know how people would receive it. I should say it probably would be.
Yeah, especially older players.
Yeah. I think they would be compensated in some shape or form.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
At the same time, I feel like that it feels like, or at least all the players I have been listening to, they know the problem as well. So if they know the problem, they should also be okay with like, okay, this needs to be a solution. But that is just me. What do you think, Anja?
I think that Star Stable could change how a championship, like, I mean, in Alicia, it's like you can win if you're a lower level, because it depends on the skills you have. In Star Stable, it's just about how high your level is. So maybe, you know, if they would make it harder, I think like the younger players, it would be harder for them, because but it would also be like kind of funnier to, you know, to just learn new things. Like in Alicia, you can learn how to slide and stuff, and it really depends on the skills you have. But in Star Stable, it just depends on what level you have.
Yeah.
So if you would just make it skill based, I think that lower level players would also have the chance to win.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good idea. You know, to do something like that and get it away from that level based system.
Yeah.
To have it more based on your skills as a player. In the same way that players learn how to do shortcuts and things like that.
I agree. Cici?
Yeah, about the level thing. Me personally, I actually, until I played a little bit today, I was like, what level am I? Because it hasn't been relevant for a long time.
No.
It's like, well, I don't have any quests to do, and there's no like level limitations for me as a high level player. So I was like, oh, I'm at that level, okay. Well, that's that, I guess. So for me personally, I would not mind at all if the XP was leveled, that everyone would have the opportunity to have the same. You know, if some XP was taken away from me, I wouldn't mind it at all. But on the topic of the end game, I definitely think that there needs to be done something. Because if you don't have anything to do, then you have no reason to play. And if you have no reason to play, then you will leave the game. And if a lot of players leave the game, then it will take a hard toll on the game, because it's very, it's tough and expensive to run a game of this big size. So I don't know if that's kind of what has brought the feeling in the community right now. There's a big part that is like, oh, you only care about the new players, and what about us old players? Like, there's a huge group of players that feel they're not being heard, and that is a big problem. So I definitely think that there needs to be way more things to do, and different things to do for different players. Like for me, I've mentioned in many episodes that I'm really bad at collecting stuff. I mean, I still have a lot of stars and spiders and token pictures and stuff like that, because it's not like I think it's boring, it's just that I just don't put time to do them, simply. And I would love to have quests to do. I mean, questing is one of the big parts of the game for me, especially the main story.
Yeah. Which is a good way to end it, to go over to the next question, which is what would you prefer to be added to the game and why? And 60.2% said main story quest. I myself, at this point, I actually would like to want more side quests. Of course, I would love more main quests, but I also know that it takes a really long time for them to make it. And I was like trying to figure out a way, like how could I explain it in a way that people sort of could understand how long it actually takes. So here it is. See yourself cook a boeuf bourguignon. It takes hours, like almost a day to make that. And then you give that wonderful boeuf bourguignon to the guests that finally arrived, and you hope that they will enjoy it, and they eat it up in maximum of 10 minutes. And that was all your hard work. Hours of making that food, and they made it in 10 minutes. So that is basically, they take months of making those quests, and we are done within 40 minutes. Around, maybe an hour.
True.
So it takes time to get a main story quest. And so I would like to see, I don't know if it is the same kind of time that goes into a side quest. Probably it is. But I would sort of hope that, because we know that they have a team that works only on the main story quest, and I would hope that they would like have another team that works only on side story, so they would sort of work on their own pace, but still that it would be like main story quest, side quest, main story quest, side quest, so they would be more repeatedly happening stuff. So yeah, but in general, I just want quests, either they're main or side.
Yeah, same.
Works upside down. If they're quests, I'm happy. But what do you think, TC?
For me, I really think I could completely avoid main story. As much as I love main story quests, I would completely disregard that right now. And I would also disregard side story quests as well. And it would be for the more ways to train your horse. Because I think that very thing there has the ability to create a mechanic in the game that can do more things and entertain us for a longer period of time.
That is true.
If you take Alicia, for example. And I know that whenever we had Quick on and we were discussing, I can't remember what we were discussing.
Was it events, maybe?
I think it was possibly events. And I said that whenever I was running around after Quick one day, I had the thought going, wouldn't it be great if as I ran around the island, I gained XP?
Oh,
yeah,
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like there needs to be things there that you can do all the time, and again, come back to that mechanic, whether you create a race, whether with your friends or you join a public race, and you can just stay in that race room and go do races over and over and over again, but with a magical element, I think would be a big thing. Let's say you go up to the druid training area and there's a thing that you can do, or they create specific racetracks, kind of like what they did for Halloween, or what they did Christmas Village, but to have that a set location where there's maybe 5 different tracks and you can go through, and it would be purely skill based, not level based on how you perform, but you get a bit of XP every time you race them. And I just feel like something like that for me would be great, because I think if you could take that mechanic and make it that you can do it over and over and over again, but based on the players you got in and skill level, and they all are, it's going to be a different experience every time, and I just feel like we need something like that. We need something that is repeatable, and it's not going to get repeatable and boring.
Yeah.
And that every once in a while they might add another racetrack. Because for anybody who's familiar with Alicia, there's, a couple of different racetracks with that, but there's lots of courses to those racetracks. And there's 2 different kinds of racing. There's speed and there's magic. And I just think Star Stable needs something like that. Something that's repeatable, and you implement it once, and then you can just add on to it every once in a while. Kind of like the main story quests, except this hopefully would have a longer amount of longevity. And that's why I would, even though I love my main story quests and my side quests, that's why I would not pick those.
Yeah, okay.
I would choose for more ways to train horses.
Okay, and what do you think, Violet?
This definitely goes into the none of the above category, and I know it won't end up ever existing, probably, but I would choose to add trading to the game, because I would love to trade items and horses with other people. Like, there are times when my friends have said they hated a certain horse or a shirt, for example, and I'm like, hey, I love what you have. I wish I could do something that I hate too, and then we'd both be happy. And then it creates more player-to-player interaction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. That would be actually very cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting actually if they did increase the max shilling limit.
Yeah.
If there would be something like that. Let's say there was something that you can't, because I could understand not being able to sell stuff for star coins because I could see that could be abused.
Yeah.
But let's say you had a horse that you put up to trade, and you had said, right, I want 50,000 shillings for this. I think something like that, even I wouldn't mind that so much because it's not got the same abuse factor. I think star coins. I don't think I'd ever want to see anything star coin related being tradable in the game, but I wouldn't mind so much for shillings.
Yeah.
Would be interesting. Yeah. Because as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, okay, but then how are they not gonna earn any money for star coins? But then I was like, but they're always gonna be people that actually buy the new horses.
Yeah.
And even if there are going to be people that wanna sort of abuse the system by buying these horses only to trade them away, that is sort of their loss because they still bought the star coins.
Yeah, they're still gonna have star coins, but they sell it for shillings.
Yeah, it would be really cool. I can see all the RP go crazy as well.
Oh yeah.
Real horse rescue would happen. Wow.
Horse for sale.
Horse for sale. Yeah, that would be so cool. Oh. Yeah. Really, I really like that. Okay, Anja, what do you think?
I don't really mind about trading because I don't really have many friends in Star Stable I would trade with. But I would like more racing because I think I just love racing, and that's why I also like playing Alicia Online. And I would love if they would have like a global system where you could race with anyone you wanted, and because now when I go to a championship, there are like maximum 12 people there, and it's not really fun racing with so like not many players, and I just feel like they need a different racing system.
I highly agree.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm loving all these ideas. I'm hoping that we can send this to Star Stable.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Who is it? Cici?
Yeah. Okay, Cici.
Yeah. Totally agree with everything above.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the two things that, for me personally, I would see improved. Firstly, is the way to train horses, because I don't think it's that fun. Because I've trained so many horses over so many years, and it's like same old. It's no fun really. You just do it out of habit, which is you can do the races in your sleep by now, and that doesn't really feel like an interesting way to play something. No. So yeah, definitely more ways to train your horse or get XP, maybe from daily quest or from just running around Jorvik, and maybe just if you buy a new saddle, then the horse will get happy and get some experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something new would be nice. And quests. Side quests. I mean, there's so many fun, silly things you can do story-wise. We have so many NPCs that they have been made and then they just stand there and and it's like it's like, please do something. I wanna who are you? Like
I want you standing here with a fish.
It's like what's your story? Tell me. I wanna know.
What's your story, lady? And this
what's your story? Because I really like the storyline with on the south of Peninsula with Madison. Yeah, that storyline was really good.
Yeah,
and it was a side quest. And I would love to have more of that. Because now if you get some side stories, they're mostly like very short. But I would love to have more of that, like a storyline with many different NPCs that they just intertwine and you get to know them more, and I just want more of the
you just want more to do.
NPCs. Yeah. I just love the story and like more.
Okay, so moving on. If you could only pick one update, what would it be and why? And 40.1% said updated characters, 28.5% says new area, and yeah, you can see the rest. But those are like the biggest one is update the characters, which is an aesthetic thing, not really something. It will happen since they already said that they're working on it. It will happen, but it won't make any changes gaming wise. Which is something that we have been discussing already. But yeah, I myself, of course, updated characters, but I would also really want to see new area, because I like to see the map grow, and also having a new area means exploring, which means gaming.
Yeah.
So that is why I would choose new area. What would you choose, Anja?
I think I would go with new area or custom home stable. Actually, new area, because like not many people see your home stable, because it's like you'd have to invite them and stuff. But I think new area, of course, it's like really interesting to see, like to explore a new area. But the thing is, like if you look at Mistfall now, there's barely anyone there, so I wish there would be more things to do in an area. Like, for example, different things to do in Mistfall than, I don't know, in Moorland. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but it's a good point. TC?
For me, out of everything that we pulled, because I was limited to picking 4 things out of the things that the feedback we got, updated characters I know will probably happen, but it's not something I'm bothered about because it's cosmetic. Wanting a new area, I kind of feel the same way, that there's plenty of areas that we've already got right now that are kind of, there's not much to do in them.
But you can explore them.
Well, yeah, but like a lot of people mentioned, I think, Epona, whenever I was reading the comments. Like, Epona's an area that there's actually not a huge amount to do. And it kind of comes down to that. It's like, I don't want a new area when there's plenty of areas right now that there could definitely be things added onto. And kind of the same thing as Anja said. Like, for me, I'm not bothered about a custom home stable or a paddock, because nobody really goes into them. And then when it comes to tack and clothing, I'm not too bothered. So I think, even though it's kind of what I was saying before, I still want more ways to train horses. That is what it's coming down to every single time, and it's the thing that I'm most interested in personally, is different ways to race, different ways to train, things that are going to keep me entertained for hours on end, repeatedly. And I know that after a while I'll get bored of a new area, I'll get bored of a new custom home stable. I'll not be bothered about my character update after a while. And same thing with tack and clothing. Even though there's been really good tack and clothing of late, like I have to say, like the tack and clothing has definitely been massively improved. Like it. It's just, I think I want more things to do that I can do consistently. But I know right now there is a huge effort to sort of overhaul the game and make the update, update the look of it. So right now that's a sacrifice that's kind of happening. So I've kind of made peace with that, if that makes sense, I guess.
Okay. Violet.
I like both the updated characters option and the custom home stable option, but if I had to choose, I would pick the updated characters, just because we look so outdated compared to beautiful NPCs, and our characters have so much potential. Like, we're one of the soul riders, we're the best, we should look amazing, we're the main character, so I want updated characters.
Okay. Cece?
Yeah, I definitely vote for updated characters too. Because they look so old in comparison. And in a way, I think our character kind of looks, kind of stiff and expressionless. We just have these big eyes that never blink, which kind of freaks me out a little bit. And you have you have big eyes that never blinks, and a polite smile 24/7.
But can you imagine trying to take photographs if we did blink?
Yeah. But then again,
that is true. But
we already
we have that with the horses. The horses. It takes it takes commitment to take a good photo.
But
But I think apart from the aesthetic update character, there's so many like game features you can do with the character as well. Because, like, for example, our character as well as the horse has a health bar. But why?
Yeah.
Like, I think...
Well, those are for when you go climbing. In the mountains.
But, like, yeah, but does it happen anything to player? Like, if you fall?
You're sent home.
You get picked up when you die.
Okay, maybe I'm not that adventurous, I guess.
Ceci, have you never gone climbing with us?
I have, but I guess I'm not that good, or
you're way too good that you never felt that.
No,
you never felt that enough.
But yeah, maybe like I wonder if they would implement like a thing that if you like train your horses like for like some races, and after a while your character gets tired and you need to sit down and eat a sandwich, like because your health bar goes down. You know, maybe something like that. I don't know. Just
the patience.
Add something just bring a little life in it. Maybe that's my maybe because I have a background in Sims. I love Sims, so maybe I want to sprinkle a little of that in Starship. I don't know.
I think a lot of Star Stable players has a background in. So
I can imagine me getting to a championship and then my character being like, I'm hungry, and I'm like, well, you're gonna starve from these races.
Wow, that would be funny.
Well, that's too bad for you right now.
I mean, we do that to our horses.
I know. All the time.
Oops, nothing changes here. So do you like time-limited events, racism? And then why? And we are talking about like Linda's show jumping she had, and all the other stuff that tends to come with the holidays. And let's see the polls. And there are a lot of people that says yes. 54.3% says yes, and then we have some no and don't care. So very mixed emotions about this. What do you think about it, Anja?
Well, in my opinion, I really like the jewel goats thingy. I think that was very nice, even though it was really exhausting doing it so many times. But you actually had stuff to do, so it was okay. But I don't really care about the races, because I'd rather have permanent races than just time-limited ones. Most of the time, they're not really different from the races we have in the game.
True.
Except for like the Halloween and the cloud race. I just sometimes it's very nice, but most of the time I don't really care.
You're going to the 23% that says don't care. Okay, and Cece, what do you think?
Personally, I don't see the point in having a time limit race. I mean, it would be fun if they made a thing out of it, like if they have several time limited races and they kind of like rotated between them, you know, kind of like a seasonal thing or something, more than just the holidays. Like for example, if you watch Equestrian TV, you watch the show jumping, they have like this kind of like you need to compete in a lot of competitions and earn points to get into the big cup. Maybe something like that with the time limited races, and the players with the best times get rewards, or you know, or maybe just everyone gets a reward if they come far enough or something. I don't know. Just something like time limit to have like some point. To me personally, I don't see why is it time limited. Why not just add it permanently? That's just my opinion.
I sort of agree. I sort of have a yes and no. It was fun. I think it's fun, but in 2019 maybe there were a bit too many instead of actually. So it got to a point where it was too many that we just felt like, why can't you just give us a race that we can keep? It was just always a time limit race that came, and we were like, "Oh yay, new race!" And I was like, "And it's gone again." So I think that is why I'm like, I'm tired of limited races, and would like to see a permanent one. So that maybe after that, I would like a new one. And we did get a new permanent race now that I remember in when the 14th update.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
It's nice. It's actually staying, which is surprising.
Yeah.
The one with the peanut. You run around for like 2-3 minutes.
That's why.
Oh, wow. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Have time. So I'm like, yes and no, but more to no right now. I would like to see more permanent stuff staying in the game. What do you think, TC?
When it comes to holiday events like the Yule Goats or the Pumpkins, I enjoy those. That would be a yes. But when it comes to time-limited races, no. And the reason being is whenever I saw the update that we got this month where you got to, I think it was with the Druids.
Yeah.
And you could go and you spoke to Alex and then she told you to go somewhere and then you could do your race and you got more XP.
Oh yeah, that one.
First thought that meant that I could go and get more XP all over. And I was really excited. And then I went in and I was like, oh, it's one race. Alright, okay.
Yeah,
and I was like, right, okay, fair enough. It's a little bit extra XP. I'm doing the same races. And then it left, and I logged in thinking it was still there, and then I was upset.
Oh no!
I was like, I wanted more XP so I could level these horses. I get stressed out when I have more than one horse to train, as we all know. So, I don't like limited races because I'd rather have more permanence, or that races would be there for long periods of time. Or that all of the races would have a bit of a boost, whether it's a 30% boost or a 50% boost for 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even just for like a week of like one weekend every month or something like that. Because the problem with them is the fact that they're often just the same races that we already have on the track. And you get that little bit boost for a while and then it goes away and then you just feel demotivated. And I think that's my real problem, is they're often there for very short periods of time. Like a week. And I don't like that. I would prefer more XP overall across all races, or either that these races are here for longer periods of time and maybe affect a larger variety of races, because the problem with the time limited race right now is if that's the update, you go on and do the race and you're done. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
It needs to be a race in my opinion. If they're going to do that, leave that race in that I can do that as many times as I want that day for that week. I mean, okay, you'd probably get bored doing the same race over and over again, but at least I could benefit from the XP, and I think that's where we're missing out here. If you'd leave it that I could do that race no matter as many times as I want during that week period, I'd be fine with that, actually. Because I could sit and do the same race over and over again to max horse. And I'd love that. But that is, my main overall answer is no, right now. I don't. But there are several reasons as why I don't.
Okay, and Violet.
For me, it depends on the event that it is. Like for holidays, it makes sense that that's limited. But then again, there's some races, like Linda's race, I don't understand why it's limited. And I do like the races where we get the extra XP for the horses, only because of the XP, not actually the content itself. And then there's like the dressage open house, and that was really exciting the first time around. But then the second time around, I did not see that hyped up very much. And I don't understand why that's limited either. Like if there was like a button where you could press and be like, I want the dressage arena in there. So there's some things that make sense for it to be limited, like holidays, but there's other things that should be there permanently.
That's a big part of it. Is like some of it just doesn't seem to make sense when it's there.
Okay, and then would you change the frequency of Wednesday updates and why? And this is a big debate thingy. And polls said keep it weekly. 57.3% said that, and I was actually quite surprised. I thought it would be a lot more that would say change it to once a month, which is only 10.5%. So it's very interesting, and I would like to hear what Violet thinks.
I don't actually have a preference on this, just because I feel like the same amount of content would be released either way, whether it's a smaller update once a week or like a bigger update maybe every other week, or I don't know what the schedule would be, but you know, every other week may be less stressful like for the team, but I feel like if there weren't updates every single week, the player activity would go down significantly, because a lot of people, they only log on just for the Wednesday update. And I don't think they would log on as often. So, I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I wouldn't change the frequency.
That is true. And yeah, you're right. There are only people logging in every week, and that is basically what Star Stable sees. They hear the people that says you shouldn't have big updates because you can't bring us the content. But what they see on the monitors is all every Wednesday it spikes up, and it spikes up, and it spikes up. So what should they listen to? So yeah, I agree with you. I don't mind every week, but I wonder if it would be at the same. As you said, it could be less stress for the team if they worked on like this one big update that was just monthly. Maybe the update would feel a lot bigger if we if you took January and all we've got this January, if we just put it into one update. Do you think it would feel bigger than January has already felt?
But the player activity would be so low until that one update.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very interesting question. What do you think, Anja?
I agree with everything you said, and honestly, I don't care, because if they need more time, I don't really care if they update the game. In my opinion, they just could just post on their social media that this Wednesday there won't be an update because they just didn't have time for it. Yeah, I think that's better than just releasing something that they haven't even quite finished yet, or at least it feels like that. And yeah, I think I don't really care, and obviously if I would have to choose, keep it weekly.
Okay, yeah, it's a good point. It would be interesting to see how the community would react if they would for once say, like, you would have to no update this week, people.
I feel like for younger...
Yeah, well,
yeah. What do you think, Cici?
Yeah, it's a very hard question. It's a conundrum. And the tricky part is because if you don't work at Star Stable, you don't know how it is.
No, exactly.
So it's so hard to say how hard it is in a way. And it's so easy to just assume things.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how I think about it. I mean, yeah, the Wednesday update, it's a fun tradition, but I would actually want to hear the Star Stable team's opinion, what they would want, because
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, is it like they have a deadline every week that they are stressed about? Then I'm concerned, and I'm like, take care of yourself. Like, don't stress. Like, or because there is a saying in Sweden, if om du väntar på något gott, väntar aldrig för länge. Like,
yeah,
if you're waiting for a good thing, you can't wait too long for it.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of ish.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind waiting longer if that means the quality of the content gets better. Like, for example, if you take other games and look at, or like if you look at the game industry in general, there's a lot of games that are pushed very hard and are being manufactured way too quickly and stressfully. And then they release the game and it's not fully finished. So it's like released at full price, and then there's, a lot of bugs and weird things because people just want to sell games and just keep the steam rolling, so to say. And I don't want that with Star Stable. I want that they release stuff when they are ready. like going back to the topic with the new areas, like I agree with the opinion that I wouldn't want a new area because the areas we already got don't have that much things to do in them. So I would prefer that they updated those before. Am I rambling?
Yeah. No, it's okay. What do you think, TC?
For me, what it primarily comes down to is I would prefer them to go at a pace that suits themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from a YouTube standpoint, and when I did make videos before this whole FTC Kappa thing, you know, it's great to have it weekly because then you always know that you're going to have a video.
Yeah.
On the update. But for me, I would rather wait and have something more significant and something that they've had the chance to spend more time on, rather than feeling that they have to bring out something every week. Because I'm sure that is in some shape or form some kind of stress. So for me, it would kind of be that I would rather see more things less frequently than I think what we have right now, which is a lot of stuff quite frequently. But I can understand from their standpoint is it spikes on the Wednesdays. But for me, I'd rather they have the chance to work on things. And as Anja said, like, you know, we're not going to have anything this week. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
And have a more flexible schedule.
Yeah, exactly. I would do something else. Like, fine.
Yeah. So for me, I wouldn't mind something like that. I think that's what it kind of comes down to. I was actually very surprised, though, that so many people said yes to keeping it weekly, because from a lot of the comments I'd read, I was expecting it to be the opposite.
Yeah, me too.
So that did surprise me. But for me, I would be fine with less frequently if it improved their ability to have less stress and to produce things that they don't feel like, okay, we need to get this out by Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that like as we saw with something that tried to change at Christmas, they said, look, bring this out because we didn't get it the way we wanted. So I know that they're happy doing that. It's not that I necessarily feel like they always push something out just because it's not ready, but it's more that I'd rather they have the extra time to tweak something or spend more time on something that maybe isn't get the attention they necessarily have been getting, things like that. So that's where I kind of feel like that with that.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And I have to agree. Like, we should. It's their pace because it's their work. We are happy that we are playing it. So yeah, moving on. What do you? And this sort of goes back into our Jorvik Shilling question. What do you think about the price to tag clothing outfits and why? And 78.5% says too expensive.
Well,
but we sort of touched it already. But we are going to just it goes in. But let's start with PC.
Well, you see, the thing with this, I sort of knew that probably more than likely people were going to say it's too expensive. Now, the reason there has been certain clothing items that I think and overall outfits that have been what I would class as too expensive is when the outfit's more than a horse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, oh, no, that's above where I am. I'm happy with it. So I think, like, when there are certain items, like, I remember, I think, way back when there was Christmas jumpers that were released, and a lot of people, I think, kicked up about certain Christmas jumpers overall, like, the whole community, and I looked at the jumpers and went, I don't like any of these jumpers, so I didn't even care about the price. I didn't even think about it. I just looked at them, I don't like those jumpers, so they're not for me, and moved on with my life. I was just like, whatever. But when there's an entire outfit that I quite like, but it's going to cost me more than the horse I've bought to wear it, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I'm kind of a little bit stuck here. And that's where it kind of comes back to that max shilling limit. Even if you could pay for half of it in star coins and then grind for the rest of it, that would be fine, because it would actually give you motivation to stay on and do something.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that really winds me up is whenever you have something that's very pricey and no stats on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if it's going to be expensive, I have noticed they've been getting slightly better. I think the last couple of times I've looked at things that were pricey, they have the stats on.
Yeah.
So I think that seems to be improving from what I've seen. But for me, I think that is a major issue when something feels way too expensive, because the prices have kind of really gone up in the clothing. But I can see why, because the clothes and the tack and everything are so much better than they were.
Yeah.
So I know that that's a reflection upon that, but I would like to see maybe a bit more kind of pricing in terms of whenever you take the whole outfit. I even think if there was the ability to buy the whole outfit together, because I'll tell you why. Another game that I play, Dead by Daylight, if you want an entire character's outfit, you pay a certain price. But if you only want the individualized outfit pieces, you can't do that. And I think I would like to see something like that, because the reason being is their price, from what I can remember, the entire outfit, let's say the entire outfit is 800, but to buy the individual pieces, they were 300 each. So let's say I only wanted one piece, well, I'm just going to spend 300, but if I want the entire outfit, instead of paying 900, I'm paying 800.
Yeah.
So I would like to see something like that. Because I think whenever I spend more on that particular outfit, as I recently did, than the Tinker Horse, I was kind of a bit like, oh, that's too much. I did it anyway, because I really wanted that particular outfit. But it's rare that I do that. There's been times, I think, where there's been an outfit that I'm on the fence about, and the price just puts me off completely, so I don't buy it at all. So that's why I think I would change the pricing slightly, whether you could buy the entire outfit, because it might get those people that are on the fence to actually buy it. Which I think would be better for them overall.
Yeah, okay. What do you think, Violet?
I don't think there should be like any tack or clothing item above 100 star coins, because I forget who was calculating the price of complete outfits, but it was running players over 1,000 star coins for the entire thing, and I think that's excessively expensive. But I do like how, you know, recently, even though the star coins have been like, the prices have been high star coins, there have been, there's been a Jorvik Shillings option too. So I think you should always have a Jorvik Shillings option, because Jorvik Shillings are hard to earn, and you should be able to use to get something nice.
Yeah, I was glad to see when they kind of started doing that, because it used to wind me up whenever you
I used to complain so much.
Okay, and Anja?
I agree with everything that has been said, and I kind of want to see the option to buy stats, because right now I have so many clothing items that I really love, but they just don't have stats. So I would pay some Jorvik Shillings or star coins to like get better stats on them. And yeah, of course, everything that has been said.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with the stats that if it isn't on, we should be able to sort of put it on. But and I agree. It's a little too expensive. I haven't really thought of it as it could go up to a price that is matching a horse.
Yeah.
When you say it now, I'm like, wait, what? Have I paid clothes?
The what was it? It was the Winter Village outfit, the one that was white and gold. I think that was over 1,000, if I remember correctly. The outfit that I bought recently, which was during the open house, added that new dressage and show jumping set. I didn't buy the show jumping set portion of it, but I bought everything else, and that was over 800 and something. I think it was close to. It was more than the horse was, if I remember right. And
that is
thing,
actually
the thing was with that Christmas outfit, I really, really liked that Christmas outfit. I really did. But I looked at it and I went, "There's no way that I can buy this." Even I was need to buy some of it with shillings. There's no way I'll manage it. So I was just like, I just left it. And that's why, what I'm saying, whenever people are on the fence, if you want the entire outfit, I think there should be an option to buy it for a reduced price. Because then you're going to bring those people that will say, actually, I do want this. And if I only wanted the jacket, that's fine. Then I can just buy the jacket at the regular price.
Okay, and Cici?
I agree. I remember that Christmas outfit you just mentioned, TC. I remember that I went through my closet and like, oh, well, I need to do some cleaning, so I get some extra Jorvik shillings so I can buy some of the parts with shillings, because otherwise I'm going broke. star coins.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, as mentioned earlier in this episode, I do think like the in-game currency is a bit off with the Jorvik shillings. Like new stuff, like if you want to buy with Jorvik shillings, then it's around 9,990. Like it's so close to the capped value. And I just kind of grinds my gears a bit because it just feels like there's so much work to get the Jorvik shillings. So yeah, I just really think like the currency should be done with it, like with the dailies. Maybe more Jorvik shillings you get while doing stuff, or the Jorvik shillings cap would be raised higher, or the prices would be lowered. I don't know, just something. It kind of feels like an inflation or something.
Yeah, something needs to be done.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Totally agree. So this next question is more, I don't think it's that much to discuss, but more what we prefer. But what kind of clothing and tack do you prefer and why? And the ones in the polls said 48.7% says classical, which I guess is like equestrian classical, you mean? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna say yes, classical, realistic, English equestrian. It's fun with Western, but I'm more into classical. So yeah, that is me. And TC?
For me, I like the non-equestrian stuff, classical stuff. They're like
in purple.
Yes.
Purple! Preferably. In purple.
Because I do like some of the stuff that comes out in the Purple Pony because I think it's fun. Like the mermaid stuff. I like that. But yeah, I sort of like a little bit of those too. I don't really wear Western stuff. I know that part of my club outfit is Western, but I don't really buy Western stuff. Like, other than that, ever.
Okay, and Violet?
I guess I would say classical. I don't really know what it means, but I like English writing and realistic clothes and tack just because mimicking real life in a horse game is fun for me. So I guess classical is what I would go for. I almost always ride in a helmet and boots. And I used to be so into pink saddles and bridles and everything colorful, but then I kind of got away from that.
Oh, so you're more like into the brown and the black saddles?
Yes.
Now, and
we can never have enough black tack though, can we?
No. I want them in all the models and all the black. 50 Shades of Black. And Anja?
I agree. I also would like. I also really like the classical stuff, and I would really love if they would add like more different types. For example, like I don't know, those bareback saddles. I don't know what they're called, but like just different styles of saddles, and maybe like just equestrian stuff, like different bridles and like bitless bridles and stuff.
Totally agree. Yeah. Definitely need more variations of models.
It's also been requested for such a long time, and I don't know why they still didn't add it, because like people have been requesting this for years, and I don't know.
I think it has some to do that they have to before it is the update the models of the horses. So that's why we now have the new show jumping saddle. But yeah, I have to agree with you. Why can't we now get new dressage saddles or new Western saddles? What are we waiting for? Let's see now. It's Cici.
Well, most people knows that I love color. So yeah, my favorite color is purple, and after that is my second favorite is rainbow.
So
I like colors. So, but the fun thing is, I used to be like a color bomb in Starship. Used to have like all the colors at the same time. But I kinda had like more of a like a classical everyday look for myself in real life. But now I've kind of switched because now when I've gotten older, I've gotten more confident. Then I can just wear whatever I want, so I can be like the crazy lady with the rainbow sparkles. But my Star Stable character, Cici, she kind of has grown up and been more. She's more mature now.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, she's a classic question, you know. But with a little pop of color in there, you know, like a cool, crazy shirt, like, but with sort of helmet and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's kind of fun that you change styles too.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Do you like time-limited horses, and why? And I guess we're talking about what is his name? The dude that comes with the first.
Or
Gary Goldtooth.
Oh yeah, Gary Goldtooth. I guess he is one of the that brings the time-limited horses, and also we have some of the magic horses with the Winter Village, and also thinking about the Jorvik open house that we had last year that had some special Lipsons and Lusitanos. And so, what do you think, Violet?
I like how those horses became more special. I just didn't like the time that, you know, a few of the colorful Jorvik Wilds came out, and SSO made it sound like you would never be able to buy them again. So I bought them, and then they came back. And I wouldn't want too many horses to be time limited, just because players, they need time to come up with the star coins if they want those horses, because they only cost star coins. But occasionally, I think it's a fun feature that makes some horses more special if they you know, never come back.
CC?
Yeah, I agree. They feel kind of like, it's in a way it becomes like a status thing, like, oh, you got the cool limited edition horse, you know. It's kind of like a flexing thing, or what to say. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
And Anja?
I think if a horse is limited, it should never come back to make it like more special. Because I don't know, but like, for example, this spirit thing, Spirit won't come back ever again. But the thing is, he stayed for 2 years, and that just doesn't make him special at all to me. And also the wild horses, I don't know, if they come back again, it's just like everybody can get them, and they're just not special anymore.
The special thing is that you have to have patience.
That's the only
special about it. They're training our patience. I see what you did there, Star Stable. Yeah, I agree. I sort of liked that they tried with the special, especially with the special Lipson and Lusitanos with the open house, I think it was. So I enjoyed that, because those are the horses that I would like, now that I realize I don't like magical horses. So whenever there are magical horses popping up, I'm like, a day to buy horses. But yeah, so I as you said, it's nice to have something that is limited, and it's pretty. So that's basically what I got to say. TC?
I feel like it's nice whenever you do have a horse that you can collect and then it doesn't come back, because it's nice that way. But I can understand for people who couldn't get it at the time, it can be really frustrating. So I can sort of see both sides of this. Some people, they're like, I won't want this to come back, and other people are like, no, if it's there. But I feel like they did, I think the very first time with that, I think they did make it sound like this was a one-time thing. So then for those who had got it, then they're like, I thought these horses were special. So I think it's important that if they're doing that and they are going to bring it back, don't say that, you know, this is a one-time thing, or make it sound that way. So
maybe was their intention to make it special, but then after when they disappeared, there were so many players that were like, please bring them back, I didn't get the chance, and now I have the chance, and they had to fill out the content update. So it became a filler for updates.
Because I can see how that could happen, because if you're getting hundreds of people being like, can you please bring these horses back, because I want to get one, because it might have been some people who didn't get to get it at the time, or people who never saw it at the time and then have seen it since and want to get it. So
Yeah.
I think it's, for me personally, I don't mind them, but I do like to have some kind of idea that they're not going to be close to other horses, because I think the issue would be for me is when you have a limited edition horse that comes very close following a new breed or an updated breed, people have spent their star coins.
Yeah.
And then there's a limited horse, and then you have this huge big oh no, and you maybe only a week to get them, or maybe 2 weeks. That's where I'm kind of like, I feel like if you're gonna have time limited horses there, maybe have them there for a month.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a lot better to give people the time to get it. Because there's been plenty of times where there's been a time limited horse come out, and then there's another horse that's been added at the same time, and I've had a lot of people message me and be like, which one should I get? And I'm like, well, if you like the time limited one and you want it, get the time limited one, because the other one's going to be there consistently.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
yeah, I think it's very dependent on the situation and so forth with that one.
In real life, like in the makeup community, there was this thing that happened where Jeffree Star, he released a lipstick, okay?
Yeah.
And it was limited. It was very rare, and some people, they only spent their money on it because it was time limited. You can cut this out. This is way off topic, but that was the only reason why they bought it. So
Oh wow.
it's the same thing in Star Stable. Some people only spent their star coins at that time because it would never come back.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing, but I was thinking, well, I bring this up because it's relevant. So. Yeah, no, I
thought
agree,
it was too.
because there are people who literally, there is that group of players. I would have counted myself amongst one of them, except I kind of broke the cycle slightly. Like with horse, I used to have to get every limited horse that came out. That was like a thing. I had to collect them, and they made it an achievement that if you did collect them, then you would unlock an achievement, all this kind of thing. And then it just became unfeasible to continue doing it because they brought them out at such a rate that I couldn't keep up with it. So there are people out there who, it's a collecting thing, like Star Stable horses. It's like the same thing for people maybe who collect rare models or something like that. Something comes out and they're like, I'm getting this. So it's kind of that as well. I feel like that is a big part of it. Some people are just going to buy it because it's time limited. Also, I'm not going to cut that bit out because I feel like it was relevant, even though we're talking
It is relevant. Sometimes we do need to actually see others' outside perspective to understand what actually is happening in the game. So it is very relevant.
Yeah.
So towards our last question of the topic, for horse training, what would you prefer and why? And the choices are more XP from races, new race mechanics, more mini games, or more permanent races. And if we look at the polls, people want more horse XP from races, I guess, more horse XP, and that is 45.1%. What would you say, Violet? What would you prefer?
This is completely off the rails, not even one of the options listed, but I wish we had a feature where just riding the horse and spending time with the horse would give you horse XP. So let's say you rode your horse around or had a barbecue with your horse, or it doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. For 30 minutes, you'd earn a certain amount of XP for that 30 minutes that you spent with your horse, or however many minutes you spent.
Yeah, I agree with that fully, like... Because, as I said, when we had a podcast, I think it was Quick, and I was running around while Quick was doing something. I literally was like, at one point, I wish I could get XP while I'm running around.
Yeah, because you're doing the same thing as in the race. You're going around, doing your thing.
Yeah, running. Yeah, that's true. Really, good tip. And Anja, what would you prefer?
I think I prefer everything.
It's okay, you can pick everything.
I think mini games would be really fun. For example, I don't know if you could swim with your horse or something.
Ooh, wow, that would be awesome.
Or permanent races, yeah, of course, and new race mechanics. The thing is, like, I don't know which new mechanics there would be. It would be something completely new, but I don't know. I kind of really want to see everything.
Yeah.
In the game.
But of course. Okay, and moving on to Cici, what would you prefer?
Maybe you could, like, mix them all up a little bit. Maybe
you
like
want them all?
yeah, I guess, yeah. But like for example, in the daily quest we have now, like for some daily quests is like, oh, I have this item, could you ride over to Fairgrow and deliver it? Why wouldn't your horse get XP from that? I mean, it's a ride over there.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, just add that to the already existing daily quests. Maybe that could bring people to do them more.
Yeah.
It makes them more fun and more worthwhile do. Maybe implement like a daily thing. Like in some games they have like, if you do this every day you get a reward. Sort of like if the horse care, like if you, you know, with you give it food and water and you groom it. But maybe if you ride on it for a certain amount of time, then you get one, you check that off, and you feed you take care of its daily needs. You check one off there, and you pet your horse, you get check one there.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. So if you check all of those, you know, daily things, you get like extra XP.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a fun new thing to do.
Mechanic, sort of, yeah?
Yeah.
And TC?
I kind of just agree with everything that everybody said, because I want to see all of these things. For me, I think there should be more XP per race. We need new race mechanics desperately. Mini games, more permanent races, because I just think the rate at which horses are being added, as I mentioned earlier, is just so off with the ability to train horses. Because if you take Alicia Online, you can almost level up a horse, I think, on Alicia in a day. Like, you spend several hours and really go through. And each horse themselves can earn what is essentially a shield. And when horses are born, they are born with a shield.
Yeah.
And each shield is no different rarity and all that. But the way that you get the shield is your horse has to use boosts and magic a certain amount of times. It has to jump a certain amount of times. It has to glide a certain amount of times. Things like that, for me, I think we need that in kind of that way. As you're running around the game, just doing your daily things, you're kind of going along with that. I think that we need these kind of new mechanics in a way that's implemented that is going to make it that it doesn't matter if you've already trained the horse, you can still, like, let's say, get some shillings for doing more races once the horse is maxed. Because I don't want it to turn into, there's plenty of people out there who have 100 horses, there's plenty of people out there who have 50 horses, and then there's plenty of people out there that maybe only have like 3. So I would want a system that is both going to take care of the player that's only got 3 horses, that, okay, they can max their horses, but they can still continue to go on there and earn, you know, shillings or money, you know, for competing in races in a new, you know, a new system, similar to maybe like the likes of Alicia. But your players there that have 100 horses to train can get horses trained quite rapidly. Which I think would be a benefit for both ends of that kind of spectrum of people with a lot of horses and people with very little horses. So for me, I want to see all of these things to come together to produce something that just really keeps us entertained. That is what I desperately want.
I have to agree, and hearing about this reminds me of Red Dead Online that has what was it called? Sort of daily challenges that you have to do, and if you have done every day a challenge, you get a reward for. If you have done them for 7 days in a row, you get a reward. Is it sort of the same, CC, that you're talking about?
Yeah, or just every day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that is the thing. Also, if you did the challenge, you get a reward for that day. But you have that you stretch it out. That if you also do the challenge every day for 7 days, you get the reward. They also have it if you have done it for, let's say, 15 days. Cool. You get an even bigger reward that you keep. Then they are keeping the players to come back. Not only can it can be challenges where you go like, today you need to do a moorland race and you get this amount of, well, in Red Dead Online you get XP and you get money. and also some other stuff occasionally. Here, since level, as we already said, level stuff is already an issue with being uneven, or it could be a possible solution to manage to get people to get higher levels. Since it isn't a thing anymore. So yeah, it's sort of like a daily challenge that has to be like that turns into a weekly challenge. It's a way
that would be cool
to give people reason to log in and do gameplay. But yeah, otherwise all the other solutions. Give me.
Like with mobile games, the way, you know, for consecutive days logged in, the better the reward gets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would really like it, but you have to do like a challenge, not just log in, stay in for 50 minutes, and then log out. You have to actually do something in the game.
Definitely.
It will be fun. That was our last question of the topic. Do you have anything else to say?
I want to add something.
Okay.
We have touched it a bit. About gaming in general. It kind of feels like maybe it's more for the higher level players, but I think there's an issue if you as a player, you want to play, and you have the time and the passion and you want to play more, but the game in a way doesn't let you because you already done everything. Or for example, like the training is with the races at the moment. Like if you have if you've done everyone in a day, then you can't do them again. But if you would like to continue, you just can't. So that kind of creates a gap between what you as a player want and what the game can give you. So that I kind of missed what my point was.
You're wondering if we would maybe like it if the daily training could be unlimited, that we could do any race how many times we want and get
and maybe like I don't know why they made it so that if it was a conscious choice to make it like you can only do them once each day because of some reasons, or if it's because of technical issues, or if it's like, oh, we can't make it if the reason is we can't make it unlimited because children need to go to sleep because they need to go to school. You don't know, because that's kind of the issue if as a player you don't know how the game is made, and then the Star Stable team, maybe they don't let us play know what they are working on and how they are working and how long it will take, or maybe that's create like a gap between the players and the team, and that's also is an equation in this thing that people are frustrated. Maybe
would
that's
like it to be more transparent, so to speak.
Yeah, more communication, like both ways.
I mean,
I wonder.
Sorry, say what you were gonna say.
No, I just wondering if anyone has ever asked them why we have why we can't do more races a day, or is it maybe even because who knows? But Star Stable is following Kappa as well. Maybe
exactly.
We don't know.
I was thinking, we don't know, so it's
what were you going to say, TC?
I think the biggest issue that there is right now, and I would be curious to know how they're going to address this in the long run, is whenever you discover Star Stable and you kind of get into it, the first couple of levels you've got like enough to do, but not enough to overwhelm you. And then what happens is you get to a point, I think Cece, you said this to me earlier, around level 9. And suddenly you are bombarded. Bombarded with quests. And the reason I noticed this was when I went back to play on a second account, I think it was the American game that I set up. I was like, oh my god, there is so much to do right now. I feel overwhelmed. I'm gonna log
Yes.
guys.
Yeah. I can't deal with your problems. Bye.
Yeah, this is. I think that's the problem. You start off and you've got a little bit to do, and then suddenly it just spikes into the beyond of things to do. And then what happens is you become a veteran of the game in that end game, it just crashes.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've nothing to do. And I really think that overall experience needs to be balanced better. While taking into account the different players that are out there and what motivates different players, because what motivates me to play is not what necessarily motivates you to play or someone else. I think that overall that needs to be looked at, because I think that's affecting the player experience a lot right now, and I think that's pretty much where a lot of the frustration is right now, and I'm sure it probably is something that they're considering and looking at. But I just hope that it can sort of be addressed before too many veteran players sort of just go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Okay. Do Anja and Violet have anything to add?
No.
No. Okay. No, okay, no, it's fine. I guess then we are moving on to we are leaving this topic and we're moving on to our usual segments, which is favorite and least favorite update of the month, which is January. And as we already said, January usually is a pretty low month for Star Stable, so it's gonna be quite interesting to hear. Let's start with so usually what we do is that we say our least favorite first, and then we end with favorite, because it feels better.
Okay.
So let's start with TC. What was your least favorite?
My least favorite, it's kind of a tie between two things. I really liked that we got those special sort of races, but I was disappointed in the way that it sort of was implemented, because it was one race once a day for the week.
That.
So as much as I was excited initially, then I was like, oh, this is here for a week, and it's limited. I really wish that it had been a couple of races, and I could have done it multiple times. That's what I was really hoping for. And so for me, that was kind of one of the it just felt like I was like, oh yay, I can like really work on my horses, and then I was like, oh I can't really, it's just
never mind.
So that was a little bit of a letdown for me, but I liked the idea of it, just not the way it was executed. I would have preferred that it would have done a couple of races. As for what my favourite was, there are a couple of updates that I'm not even going to comment on, because I haven't done the Mayor Peanut race.
Okay.
And I haven't had anything to do with the zoning. So I have not done those. But one thing that did surprise me was in the new colour set of Gypsy Van or Tinker horses. When I looked at the spoilers, didn't like the buckskin. And I was like, ooh, that is my least favourite out of everything. And then it came into the game, and I think I was doing an event with my club, and I was like, I haven't gone to look at the new 3 colours. So I hadn't intended to buy any of them. And then I was like, let's just go look. So after the club event, went around with my club, and I saw this horse, and I was like, oh my god. I was actually freaking out. It's been a while since I freaked out, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. And they're all like, buy it. And I'm like, shush. So I ended up buying it. I really, really like it.
Oh, it is a stunning horse.
It's really stunning, and it really took me by surprise, because I thought I was going to end up with a Palomino.
Yeah, me too.
Something else ages ago. So yeah, that one took me by surprise, and I really, really liked it. I think the Tinkers overall are very, very nice. But that's probably my favourite thing this month has been that Tinker horse. And I have to mention this, because I spent more on this than my Tinker horse. Was that new set that they added to the game.
Yeah, the dressage.
Yeah, the new dressage.
Yeah.
I didn't buy the show jumping outfit because I'm not interested in it. But I bought the entire dressage outfit, and I really do that. It was more than the dress was.
It was actually quite pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It was very nice. It's definitely an improvement on some of the past ones that there's been.
Yeah, very fancy coat and hat.
Yeah.
I am gonna. Oof, people are gonna hate me.
Oh dear.
My least favorite was Vega.
Was what?
Oh
Vega.
my god.
Vega.
Vega. Oh.
Very pretty. She was a lovely little quest. But as I've already mentioned through this entire episode, I'm not into magical horses.
Yeah.
So I was like, yay for you. Well, yay! I did a quest, and it was a fun quest. But then it was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's cute.
so that's the pony. Have fun, everyone who likes it. But for me, it was just not a pony for me. But yay, people! Yay for Vega. Favorite was the Fort Pinta update to the area.
Yeah.
Shops, and it was it's very pretty there now. Although I do still wonder where has everyone forgotten about Silverglade Village still?
Yeah.
What is up with that village? No one seems to love it. But Fort Pinta is getting all the love. But it's very pretty. So, and January in general hasn't been big for me, so that's why Fort Pinta is like, okay, it was fun and it was a fun quest and it's pretty now. Yeah, so that's me. Anja, what's your least favorite?
My least favorite is actually the Vega 2.
Yeah, I'm alone.
I don't know. The Christmas race was, I don't know. I logged on and I did the race, but with the Vega, I didn't even log in because I don't really like magical horses either. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really like it because I would rather have a real zebra than a gray and white Sony.
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
See, I would have loved to have taken the coat of the Zoni and stuck it on a big horse.
Of course you
Yeah.
would. Aww.
My problem is it's too small.
No,
I look too big on that pony.
Oh, you don't want the little meatball.
'Cause, I don't know. I think we look funny when we're on the ponies. Like, we look out of proportion a little bit.
The constant problem in games. But what was your favorite then, Anja?
Probably the Tinkers.
Oh, yeah.
I really love them because they're just so pretty and the animations are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Okay. Cici, what was your least favorite?
My least favorite was the Jingle Jangle race, like the first one, I think. Because by that point, my holiday spirit was just long gone.
Yeah.
So I was like,
ready for summer.
yeah. I mean, especially since this winter in Sweden has been horrible. It's been
What winter?
So yeah, exactly. It's been so grey and rainy and like spring. You can
No. There has been sun. Don't disclose the sun.
Yeah.
There has been sun.
Yeah, it has
have
been
flowers now.
Yeah. My mom has flowers in her garden. It's ridiculous. So yeah, the holiday race. I was like,
yeah.
And by that point, I think I already collected like most of the stuff. So yeah,
this is the first year I actually gave up to doing that, and it was because that race was missing. Which I know sounds so stupid because it's only like one race, but when I was like, right, okay, time to get everything in the ice cave. It was nothing to do with the outfit. I actually, this is the first year that I've played that I have not got the ice cave outfit because I was like, I logged in and I was like, where's my race? Where's my race? Because that was the race that I spent ages like doing over again until I had a high score on it.
Yeah.
So when it wasn't there, I was very upset.
Oh no!
And then I was like, I don't really want to collect the Christmas wishes, and then I didn't bother. I kind of did a few, but then just stopped.
Of one race.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite then?
Apart in the game is the update to Fort Pinta. I think it turned out really good because it was so messy before with all the shops, and I think they really cleaned it up well. But apart from that, I really like that they have made this new thing that they're gonna have one YouTube video every week.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
It was on the news, like with the Tinker release. The updated Fort Pinta.
YouTube. Oh.
Yeah, they have like week, the video of the week, and they started with the making of Fan as the first video. And I think that's a really fun, exciting idea, and I hope they are gonna continue with it.
Yeah, would be fun.
And make a thing out of it. Yeah.
Okay, and Violet, what was your least favorite thing?
The least favorite thing was the last race in the Winter Village coming out, just because it was very uneventful. Like, not that I cared too much because I was having fun on break with the holiday, but it was just boring. And then my favorite was the second batch of Tinkers because I really love the Tinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous horse. Real gorgeous horse. Okay, so
Also,
that... Oh?
I know you're thinking, but I have to correct myself. Do you remember I said that I thought the Tinkers were lazy?
Oh,
No.
I have to kind of take it back.
Yes. No. I agree. I haven't slept in days.
You haven't slept
No.
podcast, have you?
No. It hurts my soul.
Because I was writing it the other day and I was like, you know what, Rose is actually right. I'm gonna take that back. So there you go.
Yeah! Woo! I'm so happy. My review stands as it is. Great. Oh, I am still a professional reviewer or whatever. Okay, so moving on to our last segment, which is monthly wish of what you would like to have added into the game. It's a very long name for one segment, but anyway. And of course, as usual, me, TC, and Rose. Today, CC. I'm getting tired now. Okay. TC and CC will only have one wish, and our lovely guests can have two, because they are our lovely guests. Yay! So let's start with Violet. What would you like to have added into the game?
More updated breeds, like, in particular, like, maybe the quarter horse or the thoroughbred, because I really like those breeds in real life, but not in the game right now at all. And maybe something different with the racing system mechanics, like what TC was saying. Just something to do, because we get the horses, but then we also need to have something to do with them.
Yeah, true.
Totally agree. Good wishes, Anja.
I'd also like a different racing system and like a different championship system. And I don't know, the only thing I really want is an updated Icelandic horse.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So, yeah.
They need to be updated.
Yeah.
They're so cute. I can't even imagine how cute they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Heart. Oh, that day will come someday, I hope. Okay, so to us then. Cici, what is your monthly wish?
I think it is what I mentioned before, like a daily thing. You log in, you take care of your horse, and you get XP for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And TC?
Basically just what I said earlier. I completely overhauled racing system, like something new that you can do as a group, and you can do it as many times as you want per day, and just keep going. And it would basically suit people that have lots of horses and people that don't. That's what I want.
Okay. And my wish is also, I wrote down higher years limit, but I go with you, unlimited years limit, so we can get some grinding and the need for grinding into the game. That is my monthly wish. Yes! So this is the end of the episode. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we're so happy that we could get you both on, since we are Violet from US and Anja from Austria, and then we have me and Cici in Sweden and TC in UK. Such a mix and time zones.
Yeah, it's cool.
We're so happy that we managed this.
Yeah.
Thank you both for joining us, and we hope that you will have a great 2020, and maybe you will get to join us again in the future. And if you guys who are listening got an amazing idea from listening to us and all these questions, we would love to see them in the comments down below. And we are hoping that maybe Star Stable are listening. If not, we might poke them, because Joe, if they are dry on idea, come here. But until next month, stay awesome as always, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.